What the hell? Jesus. All right. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Bassin' with Captain Lou. Guys, I just want to start off right off the bat by apologizing. I know I haven't put out a video in quite some time. The house got hit with COVID, but fortunately we're okay. It wasn't anything serious. We all got mild symptoms, but nonetheless, we had to take our necessary precautions. But I'm here now, and throughout my time, on my little bit of my downtime, I was thinking about what video I should come back with. And this video I've been wanting to do for a very long time because I'm out here in the Everglades. I've been seeing the reports. I got out a couple of times. The fishing has been unbelievable out here. So what better time to focus on big bites? So today's video is dedicated to very big baits, big poppers, big swim baits, big jerk baits. If it's a big bait, I'm throwing it today. And the reason for it basically is the water levels are so low, the fish concentrations are so high that I just want to maximize my chances for going after very big peacock and very big bass. I may be successful with my plan, I may not, but I'm bringing you guys along for accountability because I didn't bring any spinning gear, I didn't bring any light tackle. It's all big stuff. So I'm going to spend the day hunting for some big fish. So hopefully I'm successful. Hopefully I could show you guys some nice catches. So stick around with me. I'm going to take a short run and I'll be right back. So you guys can have an idea of what I'm talking about. These are the big baits I'm going to be using. Big hollow body popping frogs. Big swim baits over here of different assortments of types. Very big spooks. Very big poppers. Swim baits like this, like I just mentioned. I mean, look at the size of this one. I mean, they're the size of my hand, to give you guys a reference. So I'm going big. So the key for me today is I'm going to pace myself. These are big baits. I don't want to wear myself out too early. I'm going to start here with this top water. I consider this a big I've talked to you guys about this before. This is the dual pitch, the 108. So I'm going to start with this guy just to test the moods. If they start hitting this, then I'll start progressively getting bigger. And again, let's see what happens. That's a good sign. On my second cast here. It was a little peacock. So that was a little peacock. Hey, they got big appetite. I'm going to be focusing my attention on the outside edges, right outside the ledge. I mean, I know the peacocks are staged up against the bank, but I want to draw out bigger peacocks and bigger bass. So I'm working a specific line to see if they come up on that line. But if not, like I said, I got the whole experiment. I'm looking forward to it. There's blow-ups going on all around me along the bank. And I know those are aggressive peacocks. But again, since I didn't bring any spinning gear or any small jerk baits or any type of gear for like hair jigs and stuff like that, it's driving me nuts. So I'm sticking with the game plan because of you guys. You guys are going to keep me accountable today's video. I'm going to give each bait about 30 minutes. If I don't get anything, I'll switch. And I'll just switch up through all the categories of baits until I start getting bites. And just to keep it interesting. Again, as you guys can see, I like to make very long casts. I don't get on the trolling motor much. I just want to keep my presence as minimal as possible. This corridor has been beat up. This whole area has been beat up. Peacock bass, everything's been beat up. A lot of people fishing. And it makes sense. I mean, the fishing's unbelievable. This is the best part of the year to be fishing in the Everglades. So the fishing pressure is pretty high right now. So I want to throw something that's a little bit different for them, which is like a bigger profile baits. A lot of people throw the smaller stuff at them. So I want to target the big stuff and throw big things. So at least that's the way I'm thinking. Let's see what happens. There he is. That one raced out and grabbed it. That one raced out. What is this? Oh, a nice sized peacock. There we go. A nice sized peacock grabbed it. But here's the proof of why these guys are being beat up. I mean, look at this poor guy. I mean, this guy's missing half his top lip. So when I tell you guys that these guys are abused right now, they just are. But again, it also shows you their level of aggression. And I just threw that big bait, and he still slammed it with a half a lip. So I know sometimes it's out of our control, but if we as anglers could just be very careful when handling this fish. I mean, these guys get abused a lot. I mean, people throwing live bait at them all the time, treble hook baits. I know they're very aggressive and they throw hooks and stuff, but if we could be as gentle as possible with them, I mean, I'm sure the fish will appreciate that. All right, so I gave this dual pitch about a half hour. Landed one peacock, missed a little peacock, and caught a little bass. So I may come back to this later on. Next up is going to be the Yozuri popper, a big one. So I'm throwing this big 3D inshore popper. I'm sure it's going to make a lot of noise. Let's see if it gets their attention. Oh, that was a good hit. It was a nice aggressive male. Hit it on the paws. I'll take it. I mean, it's a nice size peacock, don't get me wrong. I mean, look, they're in full-blown mating right now. But I'd like to get some bigger ones. Let's see what happens. There he is. Little peacock. There he is. Hey, a largemouth now. Okay, now we got a largemouth. Oh, come on, dude. Really? Really? Gave the popper a half hour, only caught 2 fish. I'm gonna downsize a little bit to a nice bigger to mid-sized jerkbait, and let's see what happens. I posted this on Instagram a couple of days ago, this 6 cents jerkbait. I did some modifications to it with some hardware stuff. You guys will be aware of it if you go look at the post. Just reinforced the hooks, reinforced the split rings. Let's see, I mean, it's not a big bait, but it's a nice size profile in the water. Let's see if it catches some things. There's one. Baby bass. Oh, there's a solid one. Little peacock. I expect that with this mid-sized jerkbait. So to stay, I mean, I'll throw it for a little while longer, but I mean, again, the goal is bigger baits, so I might switch to a much bigger profile. But again, with this size, I do expect a lot of smaller peacocks. Here's one. So as I said, much smaller peacocks. So for the sake of the video, I'm gonna go ahead and switch to a much bigger bait right now, just to stay with, with the topic at hand. But I can tell you guys that this size, for example, this 6 cents, I guess it's I forget the number, but either way, it's a 106 or something along those lines. Anyways, it's a good jerkbait. I mean, it catches them. My suggestion with this particular jerkbait, if you want to go with this series of jerkbait, is to reinforce the hardware, especially the split rings and the hooks. For my personal opinion, the hardware was very suspect. Fishing South Florida, meaning when you're going after a bunch of peacocks, you're catching Oscars, you're catching Mayan cichlids, the amount of torque that those fish put on these type of lures, the hardware is not going to be able to withstand large numbers of them. Yes, I know some anglers are doing well up north in the Kissimmee chain and stuff like that with them, and that's great, that's awesome. But when you're talking about volume of very aggressive fish like 75 to 100, 150 fish a day, the hardware is going to give out. So spend a couple of bucks and upgrade your hardware, and the hardware will last you a little bit longer. Okay, enough playing around. I'm taking out the big guns. This is the Mike Buka, the bull shad. This is a big boy. I got it on a big swim bait rod with some 20-pound mono. So I'm in for a workout. I'm only going to give myself about 30 minutes when I wear myself out. But let's see how it goes. It should be pretty exciting. All right, through this Buka shad for a half hour. Just got one strike. I couldn't tell you what kind of fish it was. But so with everything that I'm fishing so far, I'm doing different cadences within the half hour. I'm fishing these big baits quickly. I'm fishing them slowly. I'm doing stops. I'm doing all kinds of stuff to see if I could elicit anything. But so far, it's just not happening. It doesn't mean that it won't. It just means that I got to stay consistent with it. Trust me, I'm doing everything in my power not to downsize, but again, I can't downsize because I don't have my spinning gear. I know that if I did, my catch will be different, but again, that's not the purpose of the video. So stick with me. Let's see what happens. So if anybody's ever interested to change things up and fish with big baits, as you guys can see, what I like doing, and I've mentioned this already, is I like to take very long bombing casts. In this case, I'm casting it right along a spatter dock line. So if anything is underneath those spatter dock or along the edges or the ledges, if I could aggravate it enough for a blow up, then it's successful. But what I like to tell you guys is that I take advantage of the situation, meaning I know where the winds were from today. The winds are from the southwest, so it's behind me, and it's pushing me gently down the line. I'm not on the trolling motor that much, so I'm trying, like I mentioned, I'm trying to keep a very low profile, a very small signature, so these fish don't know that I'm in the area. So these long casts, I'm able to cover a lot of water and not raise their suspicion too much. This is the first fish in the last couple of hours. It's been tough. So what I did was I downsized because I wanted to test to see if the bite is just off or is it because they just wanted a smaller profile. I think they just want a smaller profile because I've had 3 monster blow-ups with this little bait and I just landed that one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move up a size and see if I can coax them. Also, the time of day, it's around 10 o'clock, so as the day starts to warm up, at least the peacock's aggression starts to ramp up. But I also find when you start getting focused on peacock, the largemouth come around as well. What the hell? Jesus. All right. That was a warning if I ever seen one. Jesus. FYI, guys, it's mating season right now for the alligators. They can be pretty aggressive. That was a warning call for me to get the hell out of the way. A very popular guide down here, boat was attacked the other day. So don't leave your guard down this time of year. I think it's like May, June. Those 2 months of the year, they can be pretty aggressive. So usually you can let your guard down and they won't mess with you. But at this time of year, they can sneak up on you and probably hurt you. So be careful with those alligators. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. This is a nice solid peacock right here. Look how pretty this one is. at the pronounced hump on this guy. This guy's in full freaking spawn right now. It doesn't get old catching these guys. They're so pretty. I mean, look at the colors of this guy. Look at this thing. So that's a wrap, guys. I threw the big baits for a while, for about 4 hours actually. The bait that got the most bites was the big spook and the big popper. The big swim baits didn't even get a sniff, but that's okay. I think the profile just scared them off, and there was no bigger bass in the area, I guess, that wanted to take on those bigger baits. But again, it is what it is. I did, at the halfway mark, I did go back to traditional baits, like torpedo type baits, prop baits. And I had fun with that. I mean, I caught over 40 peacocks and bass today. I'm not gonna complain, it was a productive day. But again, I think I missed the mark with the big stuff, but hey, it's still fishing. I still caught some fish and had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for hanging with me. You guys want to come out here and enjoy the Everglades with me, aeguideservice.com. Remember to like the video, share the video, better yet, just join and become part of this great community. And I'll be seeing you guys again soon. Take care of yourselves.